Okay, here's the last video for Unit 6 assignment. Just at the start here, I've graphed out this question that I didn't make a graph of before. 3x minus 2y plus 1 is 0, and the y-intercept is right there at 0.5. So we can see it graphically too. And graphing is an acceptable way to solve these problems. Next, which graph represents the equation 4x minus 6y minus 12 is 0? We can take a look at the properties of the graph, or we can just graph it. So if we're graphing 4x minus 6y minus 12 equals 0, that graph is down here. It crosses the y-axis at -2. It crosses the x-axis at 3. It is a positive slope. I'm just going to move the graph over here. So here we can see the y-axis and the x-axis. We can see that we've got this line running up to the right, and it's hitting just below the point of origin. So I'm looking for one that looks like that, which the first one has a negative slope. That's no good. The second one has a positive slope, but it hits too high on the y-axis. The third one is in the right spot and has the right slope. The last one's in the right spot, but wrong slope. So it should be C. The other thing we can do is look at the slope and the intercept by changing this from general form into slope-intercept form, or y-intercept, slope-intercept form, sorry. So we rearrange, we throw the 6 over there, we get 4x minus 12 is 6y. Then we're going to divide both sides by 6. Divide by 6, divide by 6. 4 by 6 is 2/3. 12 by 6 is 2. And we get our y equals mx plus b form, where the slope is 2/3. The intercept is -2. So same things we saw by graphing, but we can just see it without a graph too. And for the same reason, we check the slope and we check the intercept. So if it has the right slope but the wrong intercept, it's not the right graph. It needs the right slope and the right intercept. And our last page of questions here. What's the equation of this graph? Here's a graph, and on this graph we can see that the slope is negative. From this point we're going down 2, so -2, and over 1, 2, 3. So -2 over 3 is the slope. The y-intercept is right here at 2. So if we know those two things, and we need it in slope-intercept format, we throw the slope in the slope hole, we throw the intercept in the intercept hole. There's an m and there's a b, just waiting to know what their values should be. So here they are. So y equals -2/3 x plus 2, and all of our options are given in that nice slope-intercept format. We don't have to change to general form, but starting off with this format is not a bad idea. It's a good way to get an equation that you can make sense of quickly. Next, the slope of the line x equals 5. X equals -5 is a vertical line. If we have our graph and at -5, that's x. No matter what y is, x is -5. Y doesn't even enter into the equation, so it's just x is -5, any value of -5. We could graph it as well, just in case we want it to be sure, and we do want to be sure generally. If we graph x as -5, we get this vertical line. Vertical slope means undefined slope. And that should be the end of this assignment. For your exam, graph things, move things around, remember about what the different equations mean. I think this exam coming up is totally doable.